Hi, welcome back, and thank you for continuing to watch and following me on this journey. I truly appreciate it, and I hope it keeps helping you as it is helping me. Today, I'm going to do something a bit unusual in that I'm not just going to speak freely, from the top of my head on a particular subject or thing. Rather, I'm going to read directly from my reflection because when I read it over this evening, it actually shook me to my core. And these reflections were from the Passion of the Christ in terms of reading through the Passion and just sitting in and listening in on messages and homilies around the Passion of the Christ. And each time I do that, it's such a grueling, like an emotional journey for me that actually empties me and leaves me drained. And it hits me from a different angle. But today, it hits me from so many characters, so many angles, so many perspectives that I had never thought of. And somehow I used to be a bit removed from the people of the time. But guess what? The people of the time and people of now, there isn't much difference. So please permit me to read from my journals and my scribbles, that I had in the course of this. It's not in any particular, chronological or any order of how it appeared, but it's just in the order of how it hits me each time. So let me reflect on the characters and how I saw myself in them. I was Peter. Yes, I was, or I have been. Every time I denied my faith in the face of strong or even mild accusations or inquiry, even when I'm too shy to make the sign of the cross. I was Judas every time I betrayed him, which is so many times. I was also Judah in assuming that it doesn't matter because God will always sort himself out. Truly, he thought he would make a quick buck. I don't think that he thought that Jesus would fall. He probably thought I'll make some money and these people are no match for my Messiah, for my Lord and my Master. And when they come to him, he will just use one of his many powers and overcome them. But that didn't happen. But then I have been him. So many times I thought, what am I worrying about? Just sort stuff out. When he needs me to be that vessel doing the work. And also every time that I felt that I was irredeemable or not capable of being helped or salvaged or saved. And, almost to the point of despair. Unfortunately, Judas didn't make it. But I'm here today because I have the chance to do better. I was Mary anytime I grieved or pondered something deeply in my heart. That woman carried a lot of grief. No wonder it was said that a sword would pierce through her soul. I don't know that a sword has pierced through my soul, but I was definitely Mary, or I see Mary in me the many times that I grieve for a loved one. I was one of the elders, or should I say the Sanhedrins, or Cephas even, or even the Pharisees. Every time I felt better, more righteous than others, or even accused other people because they sinned differently than I, or every time that I snubbed or was condescending to other people, when really some of them may have even been better than me or have stronger or better character. But because I was in a vantage point, a leadership position, I looked down on them and felt that I was better than them. I was Cephas. Yes, every time that my leadership has been partial or, you know, favoring somebody or something or circumstance that really didn't have the merits because I could. I was Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea. Actually, I was with them a lot of times. Every time that I used my resources to advocate for my faith, yes, I do that. But just like them, perhaps I could have been bolder by day. I was the disciple every time I fled in the face of persecution. I mean, I believe, I adore, I affiliate, I identify. But when the persecution is tough, sometimes I run away. I tell myself that I want to regroup or I want to fight differently. But truly, I am scared. I am afraid. So, yes, I was definitely one of those disciples. I was Pilate when I purposely took wrong decisions as a leader so as to retain my favor or position. Yes, I knew the decision was not fair or right or good or the best. But if I take it, I will lose favor. I will lose my position. They will see me less. So I just took the other decision. I was also Pilate when I denied the kingship of Jesus. Because for Pilate, he could stand everything. The only thing he could not stand was the kingship of Jesus. So you are a king and you are not Caesar. Therein lies the problem. I mean, you can be anything, but not a king. Similarly, when I deny him as the Lord and the King of my heart, I am Pilate. I was the soldiers. I struggled to see myself as the soldiers over the years because those guys were mean, they were brutal, they scourged with careless, reckless abandon. But today, I was the soldier. Every time I blindly obeyed wrong orders, even when I knew better. I mean, the orders are wrong, but if that's what they want, that's what I'll do, and that's what they'll get. And I am a Christian, and I know better. So, yes, today I saw myself in the soldiers. I was Herod. Whenever I scheme and fail to speak up for the innocent or to go the extra mile to exonerate them, just like Herod. Or when I obsess over those that are doing far better than I mean, I am better, I am more, they are less. Why should they do better? Maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's envy, maybe it's greed, maybe it's all three. Because tell me why Herod could not see sleep because of somebody named Jesus and was threatened from his birth to his death. So, yeah, I too have been Herod when I obsess like that over other people, or when I see that they are innocent and I don't really care to speak up for them. After all, it will only make me be better and have less threats. I was definitely those who whipped Jesus. This is because every time I lie, deny, betray, accuse, falsify, steal other people's opportunities, in fact, each sin is a deadly blow, just like his scourging, no difference, because he has done all of that. And then what do? I rubbish it with a plethora of sins. Again, I was Cephas, suggesting easily that it is better for one man to die for all than for all to die for one. Every time I sacrifice or threw any of a teammate or colleague or a friend under the bus, every time I did that, I was Cephas because it's easier that we have a fall guy or somebody who takes the hit or the blame so that the rest of us will be preserved, even though I knew better. I was a disciple when I slept instead of praying, even though the Lord had told me to watch and pray, but I could not. And because of that, I could not withstand temptation. because I know that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and is always lurking around when we are least expecting. So I have a clear sign to watch and pray. But what do? I sleep and I lose my guards. So many times I have been a disciple in this situation. I was one of those who jeered, cheered, and mocked every time I denied the power of God, His capability, His influence over my life and over us. Or when I mock others with that "I told you so" attitude, because it's not my fault that they're in that situation. They caused it, they brought it upon themselves. So instead of showing some grace and charity or mercy, they deserve it. After all, maybe they say they are Superman, they are the best. They should show skills. Let us see. So yes, I have definitely been one who mocked and jeered. I was Pilate in denying the kingship of Jesus. Every time I made someone or something else the Lord of my life. So every time I idolized, whether it was, an event, a gadget, a lifestyle, or anything, I am denying Christ as the Lord of my life and the King of my soul, just like Herod did. I was Barabbas, the criminal, the thief, the robber, the murderer. Yes, I was him because the terms are the same. I feel or I have felt that I deserved more because I am Barnabas. I deserve more, and the other guy should take the hit. I am Barnabas because he took my place without complaint. And guess what? So many times I didn't even remember to say thank you, just like Barnabas. He took my place, yet I didn't even rate him. I didn't see it as anything. I didn't beg for mercy or for forgiveness or show some remorse. Rather, I continued to live my life and do what I wanted as I pleased on my terms, all the while knowing that I was deserving, yet He, my Lord, took my place, just like He took the place of Barnabas. So, yes, maybe there are more Barnabases. I was Nicodemus and Joseph of Arimathea yet again. Every time I identified with my Christianity in secret or at night, yes, in secret, and did not boldly proclaim Christ publicly, or the times where my voice was not loud enough, but I was still a Christian, just inside my closet. I was one of the accusers of Peter, eh? Because when I see trouble looming around for others, I'll call them out. After all, they did the crime, they should take the time. So I'll call them out and ensure that they face the consequence. They want to hide, dodge, or escape. I have to call them out because I am one of the accusers. Yes, he was with them. So trying to call him out. So me too. When I see that somebody is there, no mercy, no grace, call them out. I was also one of the accusers of Jesus. One of those who stood in the crowd accusing him, calling for his crucifixion. And it was not because those people of that time took an oath and said, "Yes, let the blood be on our head and on the head of our children's children." Not because I'm a descendant of that. Oh, that's not the only reason. But because so many times I have joined the bandwagon, part of that herd mentality. Does it sound familiar? Where you just take the decision that is popular. You just conform with what everybody gives so that you don't lose power, you don't lose teeth, you don't lose, your posture, your position, just condemn others, use the head mentality, just join the bandwagon, join the masses and do what everybody else is doing. Just nobody has to know because you're one of the people in the crowd. So they will know it's not only your voice, it's a chorus voice. Don't be the one to stand out. I know they will be seeing you different and you will now draw attention to yourself. So many times my voice has either been too timid or it has cowered into the crowds. So yes, I was definitely one of the accusers. I was one of the ones, I was the one who fed him vinegar on hyssop when he asked for water. Yes, when I beat down on those who are already on the floor. I mean, they are already on the floor. If you can't give them a hand, why don't you leave them on the floor? But no, I will fail to help. I will give little grace or mercy. In fact, if there's somebody in the corner that wants to help, I will regurgitate the gist to the person why they should not help. So, yes, I fed him vinegar on hyssop when he asked for water. I was the one who pierced his side till blood and water came out. Yes, because I'm the one who has to go back and ensure that the deed has been done so that he doesn't escape, so that the one those in trouble, they get the full measure, the full wrath, no forgiveness, no mercy. After all, they did it, they deserve it. So yes, I've been the one that has gone a few times to check to make sure that, you know, the full length of the law took effect. Again, I was Joseph of Arimathea and Nicodemus. All the time that I used my resources after the fact, not before, after. I used tons of resources. In fact, more resources than other people combined brought together. But it's just that I brought it at the 13th hour instead of the 11th hour, if you know what I mean. So, however abundantly those resources were, they definitely would have been more helpful earlier if maybe I used it to the full measure. Perhaps I too, like them, may have been too afraid. I was Pilate's wife. Yes, warned in a dream. So I've seen the revelation clearly, just like her. When I affiliate with those who are doing wrong, I mean, I don't want to lose my status. Yes, I have the revelation. I know better. I have even gone ahead to warn them that this thing there will be consequences because I have seen it in a dream. It has been revealed to me. They shouldn't have anything to do with this. But because of the perks that comes with that lifestyle, I still affiliate myself and hold forth with them, even as they go ahead to make those decisions that I know are wrong. One thing I may not have been is that I was not Jesus Christ. When he fully submitted and fully permitted all that these evildoers did to him, I don't know that I would have been able to do that. And guess what? On the account of you and I, me and you, on that account, he permitted all of that. He consoled us whilst he was in the pain. He told the women of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but for yourselves. He consoled his mother. He consoled Veronica and even consoled the thieves that were by the side. He forgave. He prayed for them and called upon for mercy upon them up until the last hour, especially for those who were in wrong and all of his murderers. He forgave them all. So those were my reflections. How about you? Have you gone through the passion of the Christ? Did you identify with any of the characters? Did you see any similarities in any of those behaviors with some or all of your behaviors today? Some of them are not alive or were not alive to get the chance, but you and I are. And now that this has been revealed to us, we have to do better. We have to make conscious effort to right the wrong. And we have to continue to strive to that perfection, difficult as it is. You know why? Because when Christ went through his passion, he didn't go through it as God, meaning he wasn't immune to all the pains and all the cruelty of it. He felt it in full measure as man. So if nothing convinces you, let that do. And on this very solemn note, with my heart heavy as ever, I say thank you for staying on. for watching, even if it's long. And I pray that the good Lord will help you as He's helping me and should continue to show us the grace and the mercy, even though we haven't shown as much to others. Forgive us of all of our sins and help us to become better Christians. So until next time, God bless you. Have a blessed day. Bye. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. And hopefully, by God's grace, I would keep sharing this as I receive the inspiration. Bye.